Becoming a black belt in almost every martial art is no small thing. You cannot just do a weekend seminar and then think you just have one. You can do that, although it is maybe not worth the cost and the effort what you are going to get out. This here is Chris, and he reads, listens and watches everything according to his martial arts style to become one day a black belt. And in this video we're gonna look at 7 common things and habits that black belts most of the time all over the world have in common that we should acquire and you can take away with. So the first point that separates a black belt from a non-black belt is that the black belt knows he doesn't know shit and the non-black belt thinks he knows everything. We here in the Western community often think as a black belt is something of a very high skill or just an expert in his martial arts style. But really this is not at all the case. Back in the days of the old traditional martial arts schools in China, Taiwan, Japan, wherever where it all started, there were no such things as colored belts. Maybe they had some sort of a ranking system, but for sure not the same belt system that we have today. So the colored belts that we see in a lot of martial arts schools really are just a Western invention because we Westerners think differently than the people from China or from Japan or from Malaysia, from India. We need some sort of gratification. We need some system to see that we are making progress. And this helps us to gain further progress. And as we mature through the belts to the roof, we tend to think that we are going to know things because we have been training for like 10 years, for 5 years, for 7 years, for 3 years, whatever. And there's always somebody behind us that we think we are top level. And sometimes then there needs to be an instructor that literally punches you in the face, but the head is completely open and then bam, and brings you back down to earth. This point then of a downfall where we realize that we really know nothing at all and everything we trained for the last years doesn't work, we start with the real work. And this often comes at around the stage of a black belt. That is highly individual for each and every style, for sure. For BJJ it maybe takes 7 years, 10 years, 12 years. For a karate or a kung fu school you maybe have 3, 5, 6 years. Taekwondo maybe also 6 or 7 years. But you will reach this point somewhere in your martial arts career, I promise you. And when you then know that you have those shortcomings, the next logical step for you needs to be that you address those. For example, in my sparring, I know from footage that you can find on YouTube, here in this playlist on top, I link you that I'm not moving my head and I'm generally speaking stiff as a pencil, literally. Just watch it. It has become a little bit better in the last couple of months, but I'm still working on that and I will for a very long time. So I always try to remember myself before I do a sparring round, be flexible, just loosen up a little bit, do a little bit your movements, just don't be so tense and then it's coming better. And let's help out the community here. Post down a comment on what are your shortcomings in martial arts and how do you address them. Maybe somebody else can learn something from you in the comments. The next thing that a black belt does different from you is that he knows about his nutrition, and by that I'm not meaning like doing just a vegetarian style, a keto style, or just going like all carnivore all the day, but he knows basic stuff and he wants to learn more. For somebody who trains a lot, who does weightlifting, martial arts, sparring, stretching, it is absolutely crucial that he feeds his body, and so it is for you. When you demand a certain feed of your body, you need to make sure that you feed your body properly, that you also can do those things. And for that exact reason, it is so important, it is almost crucial to know what ingredients are, what macronutrients, micronutrients, protein, fat, carbohydrates, even vitamin B, C, E, D, K, A, everything. You should consider that you are turning the products when you are shopping grocery and look at the nutrition table and the nutritional value of the products. And by that learning step by step what is in the food that you eat on a daily basis. And as we already stand here in the kitchen, we can also look at supplements. So this here is my supplement shelf. So what do we have here? So we have just some goofy stuff like training boosters. We have protein powder. Protein powder is not even a supplement for me anymore. It is a normal ingredient like fruits, rice, chicken, avocados, all those things. And using it daily, I'm putting something in my coffee, and maybe I'm having a protein shake after training or whatever. Then we have also some minerals and vitamins. So we have omegas, vitamin D, we have iron, magnesium, zinc. We also have some other goofy stuffs that I am using for an experiment. You can watch this here on the link. And this year, if it's not important for you in the beginning, I can totally understand, because it's also going to cost a little bit. But if you want to take your life and your training to the next level, it is maybe a good idea to get into supplementation. So the next thing that we're talking about is dedication. Because my girlfriend sometimes says, when you talk about martial arts, when you talk about YouTube, then you have like this fire in the eyes, that you are really on fire when you talk about those stuff. Even though the stuff that I may be saying to my girlfriend about my new YouTube project or some new technique that I learned is crap. It's literally crap, but the way that I am telling, at least that she is telling me, that it is like this fire. And if you have found something that really puts you in zone, that gets yourself off your ass, then make a schedule on how and when are you doing those things. Because when you want to have this long-term success that we all are striving for, you need to have a certain routine in your training and in the things you do. You can't just go like, today I'm feeling like I'm going to train weights, today I'm not feeling like I'm going to eat properly. Why not just order pizza or some kebab or some ice cream, and today I'm taking a day off. That's not gonna work.
Stop the process!
You need to have your day where you train martial arts, your day when you train for weights. Then you have also days where you are off, so that you can relax and recover yourself from the sparring sessions, from the weightlifting sessions, from all that. And it is said that it just takes 21 days to set a new habit. So for example, you go to martial arts training on a Monday and on a Wednesday, and you do weights on a Friday. Do that 3 weeks and you will see a difference in your mindset. What I personally love to do, and maybe is something also for you that you can try out the next Sunday, I'm going to prepare all my meals on this one day for the next week. So I know when I'm going to work, I have everything prepared. I just can grab it from the fridge. I know next week, okay, I have this meeting, I have this to do, I have this appointment there, I need to be there, there and there, and I have it all in my calendar set that I know where, when I have to be. So after we have covered that you need to have a certain amount of dedication, we're going to cover now the next thing, and that is really something interpersonal. Let me explain this. This is going to be a good one. So presumably you have trained for 4 years with the different people that are coming and going from your gym, but there are also there is a core audience in your gym that has stuck with you since the very beginning, and these people maybe are going to turn into friends someday, because you have spent like 4 years with them, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week. You have trained together, you have sweated, you have blood, you have seen yourself in the worst situations where you have tried, maybe because you had so much pain that your arms are broken. But you get the point here. You are going to be getting friendships from your martial arts, because as you progress through martial arts, you are going to invest so much time and effort also into people, because you need somebody to train with, and you just cannot go and be like this stiff and just train what you want. Because I myself train a lot with a woman that is way smaller than me in height and also in size, and has not that strength or muscle mass to really absorb the blows and the shocks from when you hit each other like this or whatever. And I myself also have to take myself back in order for her to grow, to learn. But she also has to set herself to a certain position where she attacks me the way that it needs to be for me, that I can grow. And this is exactly how a friendship can evolve then. Maybe you are disagreeing on other things. So one is just maybe more like all peace and flowers, more the hippie style, and the other is working for the government or maybe working for the military. But you still can have a good time together. The important part that I would like to get across to you is that you can learn from a lot of different people as long as you try to adjust a little bit yourself. Learn from others and you will learn for yourself. Another a little bit more practical point on the list is that a black belt, in my opinion at least, and there are many more that tend to say the exact same, should lift weights. Not like crazy like a bodybuilder, but once, twice or maybe 3 times a week, doing a weightlifting session. So, and unfortunately I can really speak for myself here, because in my very first full contact fight, so that means boxing glove, groin cups, mouth guard, head guard, everything on, I had a pretty severe injury because my kick was too slow and my opponent grabbed it and turned me over and I fall straight on my shoulder. For a couple of weeks I couldn't lift my arm just straight up. I had no power, no force. It was just like I lost the control of my arm, and it left me with some torn ligaments and tendons here on the biceps and a strained AC joint here on top, and it took me 3/4 years until I could literally just do one push-up again. So please, weightlifting is not just about all this and maybe this here. It is really about preventing injuries and getting stronger. When you go a little bit with thought here, you can really get a good benefit out. You can get stronger, your tendons, your ligaments, everything in your body gets stronger, and you can train better. You are going to feel better because you have more energy. Dudes, more testosterone. Literally, go do your Google research, go to Google Scholar, research it. And not only in my opinion, many more martial artists tend to say the same. You should be lifting weights really from the start on. A black belt just has had the experience, or maybe had the realization that it really is a part of martial arts, lifting weight. And even if you look at the traditional martial arts, there is a lot of footage where you see old masters in their magoons, in their dojos, wherever where they train, that there are barbells, dumbbells, everything, resistance bands, kettlebells is in the background of the pictures, because also they knew that you need to have a strong body when you want to fight. But not only that, you know, here on the channel we do a lot about martial arts and fitness and weightlifting, because those are my passionate things I am on fire about. It is also going to boost tremendously your self-confidence, so that also translates then again to your work life, your social life. You can negotiate better when it comes to salary, or you have just like, it's hard to explain when you don't have experienced that yourself. I know a lot of you know exactly what I'm talking about. And with all this knowledge now, you might ask, so what exercise should I do? I got you covered. Exactly for this reason, I have a video you should watch next here. We cover there the 5 best exercises that are going to make you stronger almost immediately. They are exercises that are not just from martial arts, they are from power building, strongman, bodybuilding, everything, the best, the basics that are going to make you the strongest in the fastest way. Let's see you there.